we've got some interaction from some of the adoring Flav fans.
Adoring?
Yeah.
I don't think there's one question. I'm reading the questions, not one to me.
We'll go for the subscribers of the club then. Seb Clifton here asks, who is at this current moment the most hated club in England and that people are happy to see them lose?
100%
Tottenham.
No, 100% Arsenal.
Tottenham.
Right. There's two things here.
Arsenal.
Arsenal online for sure. Everybody hates Arsenal, and for good reason. Right. But Spurs, from match day going fans, hands down. Like, I've never felt so hated than I am in a room full of other fans. And do you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't. And that's why people go, oh, Spurs are not a big club. That we exist in the minds of fan bases when we're not even playing them.
Although
you two sing songs, you hold hands and sing songs about Spurs.
Yeah, I've never made a secret. Flav, you're attacking me. I'm agreeing with you. I've never ever made a secret of my disdain for Tottenham Hotspur, ever.
That's what it's about. You want to be hated. You don't want to be loved.
But is Harry right? Let's take we're very London focused and match going focused.
Yeah.
Like, is Harry right? Who do our subscribers, for example, want to see lose?
I think Arsenal. I think he's right. I think generally the mood online. I think things like because of AFTV and
I was really, really happy the day that Paris Saint-Germain knocked them out of the European Cup.
Oh, you can tell I was happy. Like I was
got really, really drunk.
I was so scared.
Barcelona.
I was so scared that Arsenal were going to win the league.
I was so scared.
I was so scared, Rory.
Mate, you know when they beat Real Madrid away? I was like, that's the kind of thing that you do on the way to winning it. You know when Saka missed that penalty?
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, he dinks the keeper. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah,
what is going on?
Grown men, we shouldn't be afraid of things.
Yeah.
But I was genuinely scared.
Yeah, I was genuinely
scared.
And
I just thought, well, Real Madrid.
Harry, I think you're right, actually. I think Flav is right in a very specific conversation, but I think overall you are correct.
In my experience, right, there are good supporters, deluded supporters, crazy supporters, people that are too tribal, people that are not tribal enough in every single fan base. The bigger the fan base, the more likely you are to see the bad side of it.
And you spend most time online as well.
And there's a lot, and there's a massive Arsenal following.
What is
a
it?
Big club, like when if you're the debate about big clubs is endless and actually irrelevant. But what Arsenal have, and Arsenal actually compare. I don't think Arsenal are as big as the behemoths in the world. I don't think Arsenal are as big as Real Madrid or whatever, or Liverpool, Man United. But I also do think that Arsenal's support is as big as anyone's.
Yeah.
If the metric for judging a big club is simply volume of fans, Arsenal are as big as anyone, and therefore you are so vocal.
What is it? What is it? If you can nail it? What it is that people hate about it?
I think that there is so much love for the club that at times you can come across as a little bit deluded. Like, for example, right, last season, and I'm guilty of this as well, right? I hold my hands up. I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody else. But last season, for example, we felt, and I touched on it earlier, that we were done out of 4 major decisions with red cards, right? But the thing is, there's a lot of people that were rightly making the point about that online. And then you get people that go over the top and cross that line and take it to a point where the whole debate becomes stupid. And actually, you're letting the rest of the Arsenal fans down here because you've turned it from one thing into something else, and now the debate is.
I feel like Arsenal have become this sounds derogatory, and it's not at all aimed at you or anyone watching this who's an Arsenal fan, but I feel like Arsenal have more vlogger type fans than any other club.
Yeah, they're kind of a new breed.
Yeah,
and and I think it rubs people up the wrong way.
But that comes from having a big following, because if Arsenal didn't have the size of fan base they do, then there wouldn't be enough space for all these.
But Man United have a huge following.
Yeah.
But I don't feel, to my understanding, I feel like, obviously, Adam McCullough, Stretford Paddock, Mark Goldbridge, I don't even know. Is that it?
No, you got Sam Peoples, the People's person.
Oh, the People's Princess, yeah. Who else?
I don't know.
Do you see what I mean? Whereas with Arsenal, I feel like I could list 10 off the top of my head.
I probably could. If you pick out a random Arsenal fan and ask them like combined 11 PSG and Arsenal, they'd put more Arsenal players in. And I think that's why. I think that's why people find it.
Yeah, they would. They would. They'd genuinely start having a conversation about why Vitinha wouldn't get in the Arsenal team.
Can I give you I hate combined 11s, right? I just hate doing.
You're terrible at them as well.
I'm terrible at them. I don't care about them.
We did one together once as well. I hate
He's
him.
terrible at them.
Right.
He can't do them.
I hate him as well.
Listen, I was on Sky and I put Van der Ven ahead of Gabriel.
Which is quite obviously nonsense, but yeah.
Yeah, but listen, I'm a Spurs fan, right? My job in this is to get Spurs players in. I still get messages to this day from Arsenal fans about that. They went mental. They were fun. I can't even go into what I was. Yeah, it's what happened to me.
Mate,
in terms of DMs.
Do you know what happened to me?
I had to close my DMs.
Mate,
they went looking for where my mum lived.
The last time you were on this show, you caused me no end of grief.
Why?
Because you and Miles and people didn't watch the full video. People just clipped it.
Yeah.
That Miles, Arsenal fan, and Flav were on, and they were doing a combined 11. And at the beginning of the video, I went, right, I don't care about this. This is Tottenham and Arsenal. I'm going to sit this one out. Premier League era Arsenal 11, Tottenham 11 combined. I'm sitting it out if you two agree. If you both put someone else forward, I'll be the arbiter. But if you say the same name as him, that person is in.
Fine,
I'm doing me, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I said. The clip, though, it goes, Flav may not even brought it up. I think weirdly, the Arsenal fan in this situation, Miles, goes, well, Dembele's in. And Flav went, yeah, Dembele's in. So I went, okay, Dembele's in. The clip then goes, how have you let this happen? I was like, I didn't let this happen. Of course, I would put Fabregas in. Yeah, mental.
Dembele was better than all of them. He should have gone in.
He was, but we're not talking about
brilliant.
Right, next question is Harry, who says, who's your favourite ever player personality-wise? Flav. Favourite ever player, history of the game, for their personality.
I mean, I'd go back as far as Paul Gascoigne, probably. When I was growing up, he was just absolutely everything, like a maniac. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen his performance in the 91 FA Cup final. Yeah. But he nearly killed 2 players before going off of
Gary Charles?
Gary Charles, he also did Paul Parker
with
a chest-height challenge that you went through the ball. So instinctively, I'd go Paul Gascoigne. Yeah.
And what about you, Harry?
Instinctively, I go Diego Maradona. It was a little bit before my time, he's kind of peaked, but just from all the documentaries, all the things that we've seen, the guy was just an incredible footballer, and it was so effortless for him. And the personality off the pitch, obviously, had some issues, but generally, he seemed like a pretty fun guy to be around.
And instinctively, I go Ronaldinho. I love that style of player. Just love players who play the game like that. Do you know something slightly worrying about what we've just touched on there, though? Every single player that we've mentioned for personality, the most recent stopped playing well over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only sort of later one would have been David Bentley. And he stopped playing about 10 years ago as well.
I saw him in Spain.
Yeah? What, recently?
In Marbella.
Yeah.
He owns a beach club out there.
No.
But boring story there for you. Colin Rich here asks, if Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona never existed, who would be the GOAT? This is a difficult one because are we talking of football, all-time football? Because if we're making it like in the history of the game, I mean, I've learned that the answer to this question is very possibly Bobby Charlton for what he did with Manchester United, for being on the plane that crashed, for them winning a European Cup with Manchester United after, for winning the World Cup with England, and then for helping to rebuild Manchester United into the juggernaut they are today. But I've learned that and read that. I didn't witness that. So
for me, it would be Johan Cruyff. If you took those names out of the equation, it would be Johan Cruyff, not just for the player that he was, but the legacy. Yeah. Think about how total football developed, how Barcelona adopted it, and everything that we now hold dear in terms of the values of that type of football. It all stems from that generation.
Yeah, there's no Guardiola, there's no Glenn Hoddle, there's no
Gullit,
without Johan Cruyff. There's no modern day Barcelona, in fact.
No, exactly.
I agree. Flav, anyone spring to mind for you? If you say Harry Kane, I'm ending this podcast.
I don't think. I know this is unpopular, but I don't think Pele should even be in that conversation anyway.
Mate, the geezer won a World Cup at 17, scoring a hat-trick in the...
I don't care.
First ever World Cup in Sweden.
Yeah, well, it was
17 years old.
8 nations played in that.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm just gonna say, I don't think this is the right answer, but I listened to my dad throughout my entire adolescence talk about how great Glenn Hoddle was. So I would, just because it's Spurs, I would give a partisan answer.
That's probably the only Spurs-related answer that I would sit here and let you get away with. Yeah. Because I've heard amazing.
I don't know. Do you know what? I was really fortunate. Quite recently, I did a live stream on my channel with Jody Morris watching the Club World Cup, and I was talking to him. Obviously, he played with an awful lot of icons, and him talking about like all the players that he played with, and like obviously played with Zola. You know, he just couldn't speak highly enough of Glenn Hoddle. It was like really interesting to hear.
What, when he's coaching?
Glenn Hoddle became manager of Chelsea. Like Glenn
Player
Hoddle was player manager when he gave Jody Morris his debut.
Right, gotcha.
And he was like still just far and away the best player in the team, best player that I'd ever seen.
I weirdly interviewed Michael Dewberry, and he was talking about being coached by Glenn Hoddle and said it was hell. He said you just could not. He was asking you to do things that he found so simple that we just couldn't do.
Yeah.
He goes, my job was to put my head on the ball in the centre of the defence, and he wanted me to play these 70. He goes, look, just do this, and just.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Hoddle. I mean, that goal was, what was it, against Watford? You know,
Yeah.
the back heel and the chip.
Yeah, Watford has scored a great goal against Arsenal as well.
Amazing.
Just great.
Amazing player. Mason Breen. Just before we go to Mason Breen's question, I just want to say to everybody who's got in their questions here and to all the subscribers that have been kind enough to send them in for the interaction, thank you so much for doing this. And we will be answering more of your questions next week, so do get them in the comments. This one says, Arsenal will not finish above Chelsea next season. The balance has shifted.
Okay. This is the most irritating question of the lot. Sorry, Mason, but this is purely based on the fact that Chelsea went over to America and won a competition that three-quarters of the world did not care for and had no interest in. Now, yes, if you're a Chelsea fan and you're in it, by all means, take it seriously. Go and win it, whatever. But we have learnt nothing more about Enzo Maresca's side, having seen them win that, than what we already knew. We already knew that on their day they could beat anyone, and they did that to PSG. Everybody else they beat, they were supposed to beat.
Yeah.
All right, don't cry.
They win one silly little competition that they've just made up to make a bit of money, and suddenly,
Mate, this is amazing. You two,
if
you
Arsenal
two
win
don't
it,
think this.
I'd be the first person to say world champions. How about that? But it doesn't change where Chelsea are.
I wouldn't even acknowledge it.
Do you know what they call him? Sour grape Symeou.
if Spurs were in that, I wouldn't even watch it. It would mean that little to me.
Shut up. You're going to watch the Super Cup when PSG batter you?
No.
I
am.
For the purposes of this argument, no.
yeah, I'm not going to watch it. So.
You pair of clowns. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. We really do appreciate you taking the time. Really appreciate your contributions in the questions. So get some of them in below and we could answer them next week. A huge thank you again to Flav Bateman, and you can check out his podcast, which is called The Fighting Cock. And a huge thank you as well to Harry Symeou. You can check out his podcast. It's called The Chronicles of a Gooner. We'll see you all next week. Ta-da.